Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I am doing a review from the house of Lalique. It is a 2017 release. It is called Ombre Noire. I hope that stays in focus. There's the bottle, beautiful, thick, square glass, much the same as the Ombre Noire series, except it's got a round wooden style cap. Okay. Probably plastic, it looks like wood. Before I get into the review, this doesn't appear to be listed on the Lalique website, and my understanding from doing a limited amount of reading is that it is basically an exclusive to the Middle East initially, but clearly it's also available in Australia, because I was able to buy this online here in Australia from feelingsexy.com.au, and it's clearly available. It cost me just under $100 Australian. It is a pretty new release, I think late last year. Now I didn't hear about this until very recently when I saw it posted on a Facebook group in Australia, and I immediately got interested because I have liked pretty much most of the stuff that Lalique have put out, and so I decided to take the plunge and blind buy this bottle, and I'm pretty glad I did, because it's different and it's certainly not what I expected it to smell like, especially when you look at the note pyramid. So I'll run the notes across the screen now so you can see what this fragrance is comprised of. So in a way it's a bit of a funny review, because it's not going to be easily available for people, especially in North America, and I'm not sure how accessible it is in Europe either. But what I am going to do is I'll be giving away a couple of 3ml decants of this fragrance, just because that's the biggest size sprays I have at the moment. So I'll give away 2, and I'll draw those next week. But on with the review. Okay, so this Ombre Noire, which translates to black shadow, is an eau de parfum concentration. I'm also going to be listing the batch code in the description for this fragrance, for those of you who are particularly interested in batch codes. Okay, so from what I'm going to try and do, whenever I do a review from a bottle and I can access the batch code, I will list it in the description. If I'm doing a review from a sample or a decant, I can't. So on to the opening. So in the opening, it's very interesting, because I sprayed this on my other arm probably about 3 hours ago, just so I could have a dry down on my skin. In this opening, in this particular spray, I'm picking up quite a bit of booziness, which presumably is a rendition of cognac. But then you get, then I get quite spicy woods in the opening, and probably a bit of citrus as well. This fragrance is quite dry to my nose on my skin, so I don't want people to expect it to be like one of those nice lush boozy scents, you know, in the mold of something like pure malt. There are lots of dry woods in this and quite a bit of spiciness. Now, even though cinnamon is listed here as the spice, I get quite a bit of pepperiness, and that can be coming from this really dry, dusty cedar that's in here as well. But also it could be coming from a combination of the mint and the ivy. Okay, and you know, I could be wrong, but I want to say quickly that in the past year I've reviewed a couple of fragrances, one being Beach Hut Man by Amouage, which had this ivy note in it, and then I also reviewed with Dave from Fragrance Bros Creed Viking, which had a mint note in it, and there were things about those fragrances I didn't like. They felt very unbalanced to me. There's too much of some things in them. And what I really like about this fragrance is that this all seems nicely balanced. And I have posted on social media before that my first impressions of this fragrance were that even though it's not the same as Viking, it's kind of what I wished Creed Viking was, and Creed Viking obviously still has its fans, and you know, some people still don't like it, but when I smelled Creed, the Viking, for the first time, I really wanted it to smell closer to something like this. This is lovely dry woods and spice, and the mint and ivy in here are done in a way to kind of not be not get the spotlight in the scent. They don't carry the scent. They play a supporting role to the other elements in the scent, and to me, predominantly what that is spicy woods and resins. As it dries down though, after a few minutes, what I get is this lovely kind of moist tobacco. It's almost like the tobacco has been doused in a bit of the booziness, and that comes through after a few minutes. And then as it dries down further, it comes back to having more of the spicy woods, particularly the cedar, and then more of that mint and ivy combination come to the fore as it dries down, and eventually what you get is more resinous, like a cold. Sometimes something like frankincense can have this cold aspect to it, which is what I get here as it dries down further. And what I really appreciate about this fragrance is that it's interesting. It's called Black Shadow. To me, this is quite abstract, and it's almost a reverse of the note pyramid, where in certain ways, I tend to get some of the base notes more in the opening, and then some of the top notes come in further as it dries down. And my friend Rob, who has a YouTube channel and a great blog, The Scent Gent, Rob Blandford, he described this perfectly well. You know, one of his descriptions of this was that it's a beautifully transparent fragrance. So it's really, really interesting fragrance. But on the flip side of that, this is certainly, in my opinion, not going to be something that is mass appealing, and not even appeal. It's quite a masculine fragrance as far as I'm concerned, and it's not even going to be appealing to all guys, males, men, and probably it's not. I hate categorizing fragrances like this. It's probably not going to be to the taste of a lot of younger guys as well. It's certainly a very elegant, well put together fragrance. If you do like Viking, you should probably like this. Even if you like things like Costume National Homme, this is a nice fragrance. Now, in terms of performance, this has on my skin moderate, average longevity, probably pushing it to go over 6-7 hours. Okay, and on me, it has pretty soft projection. So after a couple of hours, it's essentially a skin scent on me. But I guess, you know, you weigh that up. I mean, it is an eau de parfum, which generally speaking doesn't seem to have the projection of don't project the same way as eau de toilettes project. But it is a lovely fragrance. I don't mind that I blind bought this. You know, it's not my absolute favorite, but to be honest, apart from testing for this review, I need to give this time and get to know it, and it's probably something that will grow on me. There certainly weren't any negative impressions at first. The only thing was it just wasn't what I expected it to smell like, which is a kind of pleasant surprise, I guess. You don't want a fragrance to be predictable in a bad way, I get, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So I think that is pretty much all. Perfect autumn, fall scent, winter definitely. You definitely could wear this in milder spring days. So I will be giving 2-3 ml decants of this. I'll ship worldwide. So all you need to do is comment below saying that you would like to be entered to win a decant of this, and then I'll draw this in about a week's time from publishing this video. So I hope you enjoyed this review of Lalique's Ombre Noire. It's certainly a new valued addition to Lalique's already excellent range. Thank you for watching, everybody. See you later.